Hi and welcome to the video. I'm Dame and this is Dame Over, and today in Paladins Builds we're taking a look at one of the support class champions, Seris. She's currently very high in the meta as a healer and has a surprisingly high damage output to boot. Her abilities are mainly geared to keeping her alive, and with only 2,600 health, her recovery based abilities are incredibly useful. She's obviously got a healing ability too, which we'll look at in more detail later, but has a lot of potential in attack and in capturing and holding objectives. So let's get into the loadout for the Lifestealer build. You'll want your legendary card to be Soul Collector. As you can see from the description of the card on the screen, when you use Rend Soul, soul charges you detonate increase your maximum health by 2% per charge, and this stacks up to 8 times, with the stack clearing on your death. This means that you can increase Seris' health over and over again every time you use Rend Soul, getting up to a maximum of 3,016 health points. If you choose to use Haven, Kill to Heal or Life Rip as your items, you increase her ability to stay alive by even further. This plays really well into her being a support champion, as it allows her to stay under fire and in the fight for much lengthier periods of time. So now onto the rest of the cards for the build. You will need Essence Rip with 3 points, Nether Siphon with 2, Wickedness with 3, Dark Whisperer with 2, and Veil with 2. As you can see what each of the cards can do on the screen, I won't go into detail for each one as that will take far too long, but you can see from this loadout that my main focus has been on boosting Rend Soul and Shadow Travel. The way I've found most effective to play with Seris is to team up with a frontline champion. As you can see in a lot of this footage, I've partnered up with Makoa to take advantage of his high health and shielding capabilities, but when you're playing with Seris, any frontline champion can make a really good partnership. When you're pushing in, you'll want to sit back from the action a bit to avoid getting team shot, and so you can use the healing ability Restore Soul to its full potential. Because of Seris' low health and slow damage output, you won't want to be pushing the flanks if you can avoid it, because you're quite easy to take down against damage or flanking champion. You'll want your main focus for healing to be on the teammates that are in the centre of the map or contesting an objective. Things to note about Restore Soul is that it heals for 1000 every 2 seconds, but you don't need to maintain line of sight with your target for the entire duration. You can heal around corners and through walls if you need to take cover, but you will have to have line of sight when you activate the ability. And if you need to cancel it early, you can do so by reactivating the skill. This is really important to remember, as you won't be able to use any other abilities or fire her weapon while Restore Soul is active. Where Seris' strongest capabilities lie is in keeping herself alive, and Rend Soul is the main source of this, hence the balancing of the loadout. This ability causes 100 damage for every soul orb that's detonated. The soul orbs themselves pass through enemies, meaning if you're lucky you can hit every member of the enemy team with the same shot. They do 210 damage per shot that lands, and each target can have 4 soul orbs stacked on it at the same time, with the stacking effect lasting for 4 seconds. Timing your use of Rend Soul is the most important part of playing as Seris. It can be the difference between you staying alive long enough to get back up, capturing an objective, or simply to survive an encounter. If you keep an eye on my health bar in these clips, you'll see a number of occasions where I allow my health to drop very low before activating Rend Soul to gain the lifesteal. Doing this allows you to continue to lay down damage, and if you time it right, can be used almost like a second life. It can give you enough time to get away from a fight, can buy you extra time to kill someone, and even if your target has run away around a corner, you can still use Rend Soul to finish them off. My top tip for Rend Soul is to try and avoid using it if you are fresh in a fight. Timing is everything here, so unless you're guaranteed a kill or need to gain health back very quickly, hold off on using it until it's absolutely necessary. A big cause for frustration when playing against Seris is her ability to get away from a fight. This is mainly because of Shadow Travel. When it's active, you are completely immune to any kind of damage. You go into stealth, meaning you're invisible unless you're very close to an enemy, and for this loadout, you also gain some self-healing. At its base level, Shadow Travel takes 1.5 seconds to be active, and this for me is far too long if you're in a pinch, so I've reduced it by 50% with the use of Veil in the loadout. Shadow Travel's main usage is as an out, similar to Makoa's Shell Spin, in that you use it to get away and heal up, but if you're in a clutch situation and need to contest a point or an objective, it can really cause some problems for the enemy team. Seris' ultimate, Convergence, is like a gravity well, causing all enemies caught in its area of effect to be pulled to the centre. You should note that the orb that's fired out will bounce off anything that isn't the floor, and will only begin its activation once it makes contact with the floor itself. It takes half a second to begin pulling enemies in, so yet again timing is everything. And my top tip for using this ultimate is to make sure you are fully loaded to fire as many soul orbs as possible while the enemies are stunned, and to try and time it with the ultimate of another champion. Good combinations are Victor, Tyra and Makoa, to name but a few. The important part here is communication with the rest of your team to do the maximum damage possible. So that's my lifestealer build for Seris. If you guys can think of any improvements, then jump into the comments section and please do let me know. If you've had a good time or you found this useful, then please hit that like button as it really helps the channel out. Feel free to share this video with whoever and wherever you like. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button too. And until next time, that's Dame over. Peace.